Hello, people from all over the world. It's a pleasure to do this presentation and to talk about the brilliant digital world of opal effects in number mill. It's a material that really was a game changer for me, especially because I could put all my knowledge to understand this material. And the reason of this presentation is to share this knowledge with you guys. But before we talk about Amber Mill, I need to share with you how I developed myself to develop this material, Amber Mill. So it's very important to know how the opal effects works in natural teeth. So I will talk a little bit about me. I was born in São Paulo City in Brazil. It's a population that in 2019 was about 12 million people. And in 2019, I moved to Manhattan Beach in California. It's a population of 40,000 people. This is during my career, it's my personality, my reason of life, these three heads. And these three heads, it's about me. So the first head is my soul, that it's my family. The second head is my mind, it's my work. And the third head, it's my body, that it's my lifestyle. So I always put these three heads together, and with these three heads, I found my balance. So in 2022, I found the Code White Boutique Lab here in California, in a city that it's called El Segundo, Los Angeles. So this is my story like a ceramist. And when I saw this photo for the first time, the guy that took this photo asked me if I understand the natural teeth. And I said, no, I have a lot of questions that I ask for a lot of master's technicians around the world. And all these questions was a game changer for me as well, because we needed to know. I always had a question about the thickness of dentin and enamel, light reflection, direction of the light, direction forms of the light reflection, fluorescence, opalescence, refractive index. And no one in the world told me about these questions. No one around the world answered me about these questions. So in 2014, I read this article for Panagiotis Bazos and Pascal Magnet, and bioemulation, emulating nature utilizing a historic anatomic approach, visual synthesis. And everything that you need to know about the natural tooth and the optical properties, everything is inside this article. And this article was a game changer for me. Like I did a resume about this. So we needed to understand first how is the optical features and optical properties in the natural tooth. So in dentin, we have opacity to translucency, and the optical properties, it's fluorescence. The DJ, that the dentin enamel junction, we have features, optical features, transparency, optical properties, fluorescence as well. And the enamel, we have optical features, translucency, and the optical properties, opalescence. So now we know that fluorescence in the natural tooth came from the dentin, and the opalescence came from the enamel. It's the property that we have in these 2 layers. One of the most important things is the direction of the light in dental tubes, because when you see the natural tooth, absolutely the light is dynamic. So in the incisal third, we have our patient's denting, and the direction of the light is parallel. In the medium third, we have a medium opacity, and the direction of the light is 45 degrees, it's oblique. And in the cervical third, we have a translucent denting, and the direction of the light is perpendicular. So this is good to know, because when we do restorations in the lab, we know that this restoration doesn't have life. So we need to find a way to create life in this restoration. It's absolutely different from the natural tooth. Another thing that is really good to know, it's about the direction forms of the light reflection in denting. So first we have incident light, second we have absorption and lightening, and third we have a reflection. And the main thing is fluorescence. We can see fluorescence in denting. Denting is the main responsible to reflection of the light. So now we know that in denting, it's the main responsible to reflect the light. Then we have the DJ, the dental enamel junction, is a diffuse light reflection. So it's the most illuminated layer of the tooth, is the most fluorescent layer of the tooth, and DJ, it's like a light bulb. And then we have the direction forms of the light transmission. So we have a specular light transmission. And the main features, it's enamel, it's opalescence, and the main responsible to light transmission. So now we know that denting, it's the main responsible to light reflection, and enamel, main responsible to light transmission. But Paulo, why you are talking about everything like the natural tooth? Because we need to understand this first to understand the material that we will use. So again, denting, fluorescence, and main responsible to light reflection. Enamel, we have opalescence and main responsible to light transmission. And then when I read everything about natural tooth, I launched in 2016 my book that it's Keep It Simple, Concept Porcelain book. And absolutely, I use this article to do what I did inside the book. And what was a game changer for me was the average facial thickness that you can see in the article. So this was a game changer, because a lot of times I asked many ceramists around the world about how is the thickness of denting and how is the thickness of enamel when we do our ceramic, and they never answered me about this thickness. So in this article, you can see the average facial thickness about the denting. So what they did, they did the average in between canine, lateral, and central. And you can see in the cervical third, you have a thickness about 2.2 millimeters in denting. The medium third is like 1.6 millimeters, and in the incisal third is about 0.2 millimeters. And they did the same in the enamel. So you can see the average thickness of the enamel in the cervical third, 0.3 millimeters. In the medium third, 0.9 millimeters. And the incisal third, 1 millimeter. This was a game changer for me because I started to do my ceramic with this thickness. And was a game changer for me because my ceramic completely changed. So what I did in my book, I reproduce exactly the same that I read in the article. So this is on top of refractory dye. I did the layer of denting with exactly the same thickness of what I read in the article. I duplicate this layer, and I did the layer of the enamel, the effects of opal effects of the enamel on top of the copy of denting. You can see here the central, you can see canine, and then I duplicated it, and I removed the refractory. And why I did this? I did this to understand how this layer worked alone and worked together with the denting. So when I removed this and I took the photo, this photo was taken for Carlos Ayala. And when I saw this photo, the opal effect layers of the enamel, I was in shock at how the opal effects work. So at that time, I needed to understand how it works, this effect, together with the denting. And then I did the final layer, a skin layer, because I duplicated the layer of the opal effects. So I did the final layer, and I removed the refractories as well to see how this skin layer worked alone. And you can see that we made this in Creation Ceramic. And you can see a lot of opal effects. And you can see in the photo in the middle, you can see some things that people ask me, oh, you did a good crack line. And this is not a crack line. This is the reflection of the light of the shapes that we have behind this. So how is important, you can see in this photo, how it's important, the layer that is behind, the shape that it's behind of each effect. So here we have the 3 layers exactly with the article with the same thickness. So we have the layer of denting. In the middle, you have the opal effect layers, and in the left side, you have the skin enamel. So the opal effect layer and the skin enamel layer, when they are together, we have the same thickness of the article that we read. So when I did this in 2014, again, was a completely game changer for me because I understood all the optical properties of the natural tooth and my ceramics, because I understood how these layers work alone and how these layers work together. And here you can see the canine as well, and how beautiful is the enamel layer. And you can see opalescence in this enamel layer. And here, these layers absolutely, they fit together, and you can see how they work together. And this is the photo of the opal effect enamel layer. And in 2016, May 2016, I went to Zurich in Switzerland, and I showed this to Mr. Willy Geller. And when he saw what I did in my book, he told me, "Hey, Paulo, it's the first time that I see someone around the world explain how we do our ceramic every day." And when he saw this photo, and he asked me to share this photo for him, because he said, "Oh, this can be the cover of my book with Douglas Terry." And at the same time, this was my choice to put this photo in the cover of my book. But at the same time, I said, "Oh, my work in the cover of Mr. Geller's book, okay, Mr. Geller, the photo is yours." And I think because of this that I did in my book, and absolutely another things that it's a combination to be an oral design, I became an oral design. And when people ask me what is to be an oral design, I don't know how to answer. I just remember how intense was the moment when Mr. Geller looked into my eyes and said, "Welcome to the oral design group. It's very good to feel, but it's very difficult to explain. It's magical. Life is so beautiful." And I always say that oral design for me was like a gold medal in Olympic Games. And it's very important, not just you have the logo, you have the oral design. It's what oral design represents, especially represents inside. It's not just outside. And for me, this photo is amazing because it's a kiss of God. So here we are, my work, opal effects. We will talking about in a few minutes about Amber Mill. And Amber Mill, it's exactly what you are seeing in this photo. And my work is in the cover of Mr. Geller and Mr. Douglas Terry book. And I always say, Douglas Terry is a dentist, Mr. Geller is a ceramist, so they are denting and enamel. And we need to think about it. Dentists and ceramists, we are denting and enamel. So again, this photo, and I always, when I see this photo, I remember how beautiful is the Amber Mill. And we are talking about Amber Mill right now, and how this material was a game changer for me. Okay, during 25 years of my career, I did feldspathics on top of refractory dye. I became famous around the world because of my feldspathics ceramics. So what we needed to know now, what is opalescence, to understand Amber Mill. Opalescence is an optical property of the enamel, mainly in the incisal third. Because of the refraction in the hydroxyapatite crystals happens the light waves transmission. When this transmission is long light waves, the opalescence is orange. And when is short light waves, the opalescence is blue or violet. And then when you see everything, you understand everything, when you know and feel what you are doing, how and why you achieved the result, you find the balance. So this was my work 25 years, layer by layer, and who does ceramic layer by layer knows how intense it's a lot of times, it's no production. So 3 years ago I decided to change my life, to have more time for me, to have more time for my family, to have more time to do my sports, and my sports are my inspiration. So I'm moving different because I want different. All the keys can't unlock new doors. You have to power to decide what you can keep and the door you want to open. But when I did this move to digital, to have more time, I never forgot the knowledge during these 25 years that I did doing layer by layer in feldspathic ceramic. So we are in a new world right now. We are talking about milling machines, and we are about printers, and the X is X, W, and Y. Nowadays, I can do this, and I can play with makeup, or I can play with micro layer. And here you can see I can apply micro layer doing my umber mill with cutbacks. So again, cutback and micro layer. And cutback and micro layer. And if you see the opal effects in the sisal third of this, I didn't apply this opal effect. This opal effects came from the umber mill block. So this was a game changer for me because less time on the bench, and you can see beautiful results. I'm talking about like a layer of 0.3, 0.4 millimeters. You can see in the left side here, you can see the left central, it's done. And you can see the right central. We are talking about the photo in the left side. You can see that I did a cutback, and you can see an opal effect in the sisal third. And this opal effect was milled in umber mill. And then I cover with just one powder of ceramic, you can see in the right side, and still you can see the opal effect that is coming from the umber mill. So it's amazing material. You can do a combination with zirconia. So here you can see a bridge of zirconia, and I cover in the front with umber mill, and this is the result. You can see in the right side, you can see an opal effect, and this opal effect again coming from the umber mill. I didn't layer this case. This case, it's stain technique. Another case that is stain technique, you can see the opal effects and with different lights. It's amazing material. It's so easy to work. Again, another beautiful case, and where you can see the opal effects. Again, this case, it's a stain technique with a lot of opal effects because amber mill, it's opal. It's very opalescent. And when you see the mamellos inside, the mamellos, I did a stain technique in the lingual side, in the palatal side of the restoration. So you can see here, I apply a stain technique in the palatal side, and you can see in the buccal side. Like this, another case with makeup, you can see a lot of opal effects, and you can see some mamellos, and the mamellos are in the back of the restoration. So when you see the opal effects here, it's blue, and here you can see in the front of the mamellos. Again, this opal effect is the optical property of the amber mill. So you can see here amber mill after milling, and then before crystallization. It's amazing material to do photos, to do videos. I think for me is one of the most beautiful materials that I ever took photos. So the process that I'm doing here and after glaze. So again, we are talking about amber mill, and what to pay my attention for this material, this amazing material. You have this material in blocks, and you have this material in discs right now. And for me, what is amazing, you just need to choose the color. So we have all the colors in the shade tab. We have a bleach shades, and you just need to choose the color, because the translucency, you can do what you want in the crystallization process. So less temperature, it's high translucency. High temperature, it's medium opacity. So if you crystallize in high translucency and you feel like, oh, it's too much translucency, you can put in the oven again. You can increase the temperature, and you can go to medium translucent. From medium translucent, you can go to low translucent, and from low translucent, you can go to medium opacity. You can go to translucent to opacity, but you never can be back. So we have amber mill discs that it's about, you can do like 25, 30 restorations. It was a game changer. They received awards, and this is the parameters of the manual of amber mill that came from the company Hasbio, and I did this restoration in 0.5 millimeters. I know that nowadays people are milling about 0.3 millimeters the restoration, and this is the parameter to have ADT from MO. So you can see these parameters of temperature to crystallize and achieve the translucent that you want. This is the manual parameter, and this is my personal parameter. When I found that for me, ADT, you can put in the oven in 825 degrees For medium translucency, 830. For low translucency, 840. And for medium opacity, 860. So this is the parameter that I use in my lab, in my oven. Again, this is my personal parameter, so you need to find your parameter because each oven is very different. So depends on the oven that you are using. You need to like spend one package of amber mill, do this milling 5 pieces, and find what is your personal parameter like for high translucent, medium translucent, low translucent, medium opacity. And for me, high translucent, it's like a transparent enamel. Medium translucent, for me, it's like an enamel. It's most of my time I use medium translucent to do the amber mill restorations. So I do crystallization in the temperature of medium translucent. Low translucent, it's like a denting, and medium opacity, it's like a opaque denting. So these are what I think about amber mill after crystallization. And what it's, for me, it's the best for amber mill. It's about, we are talking about nano lithium disilicate based. So the crystals are together. We don't have too much spacing between the crystals, the nanocrystals of lithium disilicate. So when you put this to crystallize, it's a self-healed crack. So this is amazing. The ability, because of these nanocrystals that they are together, it's very machinability, and you have a edge stability. You never see cracks absolutely with new burrs, medium burrs, life. You don't see cracks in the margins. And you can see on the right side a difference in between the nano lithium disilicate crystals and the conventional crystals of the competitor. And another thing about this, it's when you crystallize, because of the crystals are together, you never increase the translucency of this material. When you, after crystallization, every time that you put in the oven, he is very stable in his optical property. Okay. The other materials, I always feel like that every time that I put in the oven, you can see more translucent. It's because you have a lot of space in between the crystals. So every time that you put in the oven, the crystals increase the length, and in amber mill, this has never happened because of the nano lithium disilicate crystals. So you can see the stability of the edge, 0.3 millimeter, 0.3 millimeter veneers. You can see how the margins is stable. It's because of the nanocrystals and because they are very compact, very dense. And this is the milling machine that I use to do this, and you can see the margins. It's amazing. You can see the light transmission here, reflecting the light, transmitting the light. It's I can tell you that it's amazing material. And one of the things, it's sometimes after crystallization, people look the restoration in the light, and they see, oh, I can see some clouds inside. And this is what happened in the opal effects in the nature. You can see in this slide that you have here opal glass, and you can see some clouds inside, and this is the nature of opal effects. And amber mill has exactly the same. So you can here you can see in the left side before crystallization, in the right side after crystallization. Again, it's a material that was a game changer because it's very easy, and they copy the optical properties of the enamel. Again, you can see here before crystallization, and you can see in the size third some clouds, and this is the nature, what we have in the nature with opal effects. This case, again, the left side you can see before crystallization, in the right side after crystallization, and you can see in the photo in the left side that you have some blue effects, opal effects, that I didn't stain this case. I didn't stain. This is how you look after crystallization. You have a natural effect, like a natural tooth, especially here in the United States where I live. People want like restorations more shade tabs, so I don't have too much work with amber mill, because after crystallization you can see this result. And for overlays, for posteriors, it's an amazing material. A chameleon effect, amazing. Look these lower ones. Again, I didn't stain this case, so you can see in the line angles a effect like a translucency. It's a blue effect. It's the material. I just glazed it. These restorations, I just crystallize and then glaze it. It's one of the concept of technique that I do. And in this case, the posteriors I did at the same time of crystallization. I did one layer of stain technique, and then I glaze. So nowadays, most of my cases, I stain before crystallization. So I crystallize with a stain technique, and then I just glaze and finish the case. So like you see in this full rehabilitation crowns, was just 2 steps. Before crystallization, I did the stain, crystallize, and then glaze. And the digital for nowadays, you can do cases like that. You can copy 100% of the digital wax up in the final veneers. So here again, I just stained with shade before crystallization. After crystallization, I just glazed it, and you have a natural restoration. I didn't stain with blue, nothing like that. And you can see this beautiful restoration, monolithic restoration, very fast to do. And this is a cutback with micro layer that you can do as well. but nowadays I'm doing this less and less and less, because the effect that I see in amber mill, I think we don't need to layer. I'm just layer like cases when the dentist asked me to do that, I need to copy the lower ones. So you can see this case in the mouth. It's very beautiful. Again, the opal effect that you are seeing came from the amber mill material. This is a case that I did with a local dentist. So this is the protocol that I use for photos. So this patient came, and we see a lot of white spots in her mouth, and she said that she wants something more bright and something more vibrant. So this is the photos that I always took to see the before. And you can see enamel here that these calcifications. And I said, okay, we did the wax-up planning, and this is the final restoration after milling and before crystallizing. So you can see the opal effects in these restorations before crystallizing. And the lower ones, and how beautiful it's material. And again, this is after milling. So you can see the surface of these restorations. It's so perfect. And I like how you can see after the milling. This helped me a lot to reflection of the light. And this is just possible because this material is made with nanocrystals of lithium disilicate. So when you mill, it's amazing. This is right after the crystallization. I did the crystallization with stains. So I did the shades in the cervical third and the interproximal. What you are seeing in the blue ones, you are seeing some blue effects. I didn't stain these blue effects. These blue effects came from the material, the amber mill. And you can see here after crystallization, the surface. For me, this is amazing because everything that I planning in the ExoCAD, the digital planning, was copied in the milling machine. We are not just talking about aesthetics, we are talking about function as well, and you can see here. And look the restorations. Now I did one more layer of stain. And you can see in the incisal third, you can see some orange effects, you can see some pink effects, you can see some blue effects, and I didn't this. Again, these came from the material. It's the reflection of the material. So again, before crystallization and with crystallization, and then after glaze. So it's very simple to do, and the result is really beautiful. You can see in especially when you have a free space like 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeters in the incisal third. This material is absolutely amazing. So again, in the left side before crystallization, in the right side after crystallization, the lower ones. And in the left side, the bite, full bite, and the right side, incisal with incisal. Again, the bluish that you are seeing, it's from the material. I didn't stain this bluish effect. So it's very beautiful and very easy to do. You can see internal effects of opal effects. Again, depends on the light. Here in the left side before glaze, after crystallization, and in the right side you can see after glaze. And here is the final result. She wanted something more light, with the enamel very vibrant. And here is the final result. So before and after, she was completely happy with the result. The dentist completely happy, me completely happy. And this is a game changer this material was a game changer for me. So from the model to the mouth, the same position. Again, a profile photo. You can see how the combination with the pink aesthetics with the gun and lips. This material, it's pretty amazing. Now the final photo with retractors, and before and after. And absolutely the smile can tell you a lot of things, but look the eyes of this patient. It's more vibrant right now. So before and after again, with a big smile, open mouth. Profile before and after. And this is another case. This guy is the husband of the last case, the girl from the last case. He decided to do the case as well. And he just asked me and the dentist that he wanted to just close the diastema and change the color of the enamel with the same shapes. So again, the photos that I use to analyze a lot of things in the smile, I need to do that. And this is the restoration after the done, after glaze. Again, look the natural effects of amber mill. I didn't stain the blue, what you are seeing blue. I didn't stain that. I just stained the cervical third and the interproximals. And this is the final result. We closed the diastema with the same shapes. So you can see the restoration more vibrant right now, before and after. And this is the couple. And another case was a good case to do because this guy is a dentist as well. The patient is a dentist. And he did the printed veneers. And this is the result of the printed veneers. He had an accident in the past, so you can see the lips. It's a little bit. He had a big cut in the lips. So this is the printed veneers that someone did for him, and you can see here how the inflammation in the gun area. Look with a retractor. So we did a digital planning for him to change these restorations. So everything was digital, how you can see here, the planning that I do inside the lab. I had the help from a very good friend, a CAD designer that's called Rogério Musin. He did this planning for me. And everything here was digital. We measured everything digital. Like you can see the volume of the material, and in the printed veneers, you can see a lot of gaps. And this, we are seeing how much gun we will do the plastic surgery in the gun area. So we measure everything in digital. I did this case from a dentist in Brazil, Dr. André Calegari and Dr. Juliana Dornelles. I'm here in California, and they were there in Brazil. So after the gum surgery, and this is the WhatsApp that we did. And they removed these restorations with a laser. And you can see after removing the printed veneers. So our digital planning, he preps and he did a mock-up. So you can see the preps right now, the technique that he used to do these preps. He prepped on top of the mock-up. And this is good to see because we are seeing the thickness of our restoration is the technique that he used to prep this every case on top of the mock-up. It's really good to share this. Now he used to a pen to do that, to see when remove if this touching the tooth behind. He's creating some spaces that, in this case, we know that we had a lot of space because of the printed veneers. But it's always good to do a double check if we have enough space. That sometimes people ask me, oh, how much space do you need? It's the planning. When you do the planning, you know how much space do you need. Okay? In this case, we know that we had a lot of space because of the printed veneers before. But it's always good to see how the dentist care about the preps. Every step of the preps. And I'm showing that because when you have a dentist that care about every single details, it's really good to work with dentists like that. So you have to care about every single details in the lab. He's polishing the preps right now. So he's using this material instead of cord. So I did this in number mill W3, bleach 3. This is after milling. And here are the restorations, the end of the restorations after glaze. And you can see in the incisal third a lot of power effects. You can see the mamellos. And people ask me, oh, did you layer this case? No. What you are seeing, the mamellos that you are seeing, look this photo, you can see the mamellos behind. And these mamellos I made in the palatal side with stain. So you can see here how built is this restoration, how built is the opal effects of amber mill. So how built is the margins, the perfect margins you can see in these photos. And it's something that was a game changer for me. The trying doing the trying and a lot of photos, and I like to ask some dentists to do this type of photos because I can understand the material, I can understand what I did on top of this material, and this type of photos tell me too much about the materials and how I need to change something, how I need to improve myself with the next case. So you can see here the margins, how margins are stable. Sometimes people ask me about how is the margins in the digital world, and you can see the margins in the digital world. Absolutely, it's a process, and if you have a good milling machine and if you have a good material like amber mill with a nanolithium disilicate, you have this type of margins. So this is after cementation. Again, you can see the opal effect, and this opal effect it's about the material, and you can see these restorations that it's very vibrant. So this is the end, absolutely in the central, the left side, 21 around the world, the number 9 here in the United States. You can see a little the gun in the gun area. After the surgery, it's still inflammation because this inflammation it's because of the material that he had before. So this is after cementation. It's an unbelievable material. Look after cementation, how the stability of the margins and how is the answer of the gun with this material. It's very beautiful with the smile. So this is the before and after, and we are finishing this webinar. These are the countries. I need to add some countries right now that I went during my life to teach courses, to lecture, and I just arrived there in these countries because the simplicity is the ultimate degree of sophistication. And just remember, people, it's only a short trip. You have to enjoy it. Keep it simple always. This is the name of my book. This is what I do every day, and this is what I do with the Amber Mill. Amber Mill, it's a keep it simple for me.
Okay, well, Paulo, thank you for that amazing presentation. And, you know, I see that we're already getting several questions coming in. So for those of you still wanting to ask questions, go ahead and submit them. We'll try to get to as many of these questions as we can. But just before we do that, I wanted to kind of summarize some of the things that Paulo mentioned today. And in particular, for those of you that may not be familiar with Amber, right? Amber Mill is what we call this next gen type of lithium disilicate because it does have unique properties, as Paulo mentioned, that it has allowed him to utilize this product in a way that it creates much better restorations in as far as his workflow is concerned. He's reduced the amount of time it takes him to complete these restorations because of these features. So I want to highlight why we're different. And Paolo showed this earlier, but I think this image here better explains the difference between our product and your conventional lithium disilicate in the market. As you could see, we have these nanocrystals, and the magic behind our product is really the size of these crystals. These nano-sized crystals allows us to do a lot of things with the product. Some things that are very important, for example, are the ability for us to mill the product in a way that it doesn't chip or it has minimal chipping experience. Here you could appreciate the difference between our product and the competitor's product. And again, this goes back to this nano-size particle of the lithium disilicate crystals. And as you could see here, you're going to experience extremely smooth margins. And in this example, you're looking at a restoration with a minimum thickness of 0.3 millimeters and a marginal thickness of 0.13. So you could get some very thin restorations and achieve a very stable and beautiful looking end result. And the other very unique, powerful aspect of our product, as Paulo mentioned, is the ability to change the translucency of the product. So these nanocrystals give us that opportunity. And here's an image that kind of shows you the range of translucencies that you could achieve. Again, something you cannot do with any other material in the market. The ability to go from high translucency all the way up to medium opacity. Very powerful because as Paulo mentioned, if you run into a situation where you want more opalescence, you could always refire our product to get the product to be more opalescent. And you might wonder, why do we have this concept of HT plus or our high translucency? The purpose of HT plus is really to achieve veneering applications as you see here, right? No other product in the market will give you this level of translucency. And with the demands today for veneering within the younger population, having the ability to provide a veneering restoration at an HT plus level, this is the product that will help you achieve that kind of translucency. And here's another example to kind of show you what happens if you fire the oven at the desired target translucency. So let's say you want an LT, but you only fire it or hold it for 5 minutes. This is the result, right? So it's important that if you are going to change translucencies that you hold, your hold time is going to be 15 minutes. So in this image, you could appreciate what happens if you do it for less than 15 minutes. The product will not crystallize to your intended target translucency. So that this is a reminder that once you start playing with the product, if you're not familiar with it, hold time is also important. And these hold times are published in our manual, so you'll be able to have instructions on what temperatures and what hold times to program your ovens at. And again, you could appreciate here in this image what happens in the various translucencies. Again, no product in the market other than ours is able to achieve this level of flexibility for you. So that also represents reduced inventory management for your lab. And here's another example that you could go from HT to LT. So what I want to tell you here is that you could refire our product up to 8 different times based on whatever your ultimate target is. And you don't have to hit hard specific numbers. In other words, you don't have to go 840 and then jump to 850. You could do in between translucencies. You could do 843 Celsius, for example, or 846. What we want to highlight here is the flexibility to go from a very high translucency level to medium opacity as may be required on a restoration by restoration basis. So very powerful, right? And the other advantage that you may have heard from Paolo's presentation is the fact that you can co-fire. So this allows you a one-step crystallization with staining and glazing, and there's no need for you to do a separate firing. And we do have available this particular calibration kit called Amber Mill VCK, because you want to be able to achieve your targeted translucencies. And as you might know, and as you saw even from Paolo's presentation, every oven in every laboratory environment will have a different degree of results that you will achieve with our product. So it's very important that you calibrate it. And this is a kit that will allow you to do that. So through your distributor, make sure that you always request a VCK kit if you're interested in calibrating your ovens to achieve the most optimal results with our product. And, you may be wondering, what is the strength of our product? Well, out of the gate, it's 250 megapixels. And once you crystallize it, it's going to be in the 450 megapixel range. So it's a very strong material. And these are all of its physical properties, from the Vickers hardness to the fracture toughness levels. And another image for you to appreciate the nano-sized crystals. And, the whole subject of today's discussion is the opalescent effect, right? Something that is very difficult to achieve in traditional lithium disilicate materials, but something that comes embedded in the properties of our product. So it's going to give you an opportunity for your restorations to mimic how natural teeth transmit light and reflect light. Your fluorescence, right? Your patients can now go to the disco dance floor and not worry about their restorations appearing to disappear. So excellent aesthetic outcomes. Paolo highlighted a lot of his own cases. As you could tell, these are just amazing results, if I could say it, right? And, the other benefit of our product, because of the size of the nanocrystals, is that it has this self-crack healing effect once you crystallize it, because our product is going to compact instead of expand upon crystallization. That allows these micro cracks to heal during the crystallization process. So the indications for our products are inlays, onlays, veneers, single crowns, and up to a 3-unit bridge. And the prep guide is listed here. Again, this is also available through our manual. So make sure to request that from us if you want it. And these are the different size options that you have available to you in block form. We have it from a C12 up to a C40. And we also have, and we are the only purveyor of a lithium disilicate in puck form. And we have a whole variety of shades. Ignore the fact that we're listing here the different translucencies, because as you know already, with our product, you only select the shade and then you fire the desired translucency. And as a result of the unique properties of this product, we're very proud of Dental Advisor awarding us with the Ceramic Block Research Award. We have been awarded this award now for the last 3 years consecutively. So very proud of this achievement. And for those of you that have not tried Amber Mill, please scan this QR code so that you can get an opportunity to try our product. It is available for the majority of the world. In cases where we cannot ship to you, we'll indicate it to you. But please feel free to scan this and get an opportunity to try our product for free. And with that, I'm going to bring Paolo back so that we could get to the questions that everyone has submitted to us so far. Again, I'm going to make my best effort to get all of these questions answered. Paolo, are you here with me now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So many different questions. Again, thanks for your time. The first question here is, I'm not sure what they're referring to, but they ask, so you stained it only on the petal side only. Can you maybe expand upon your staining technique that addresses maybe this potential question here from Ernest Curdy?
Oh, yes. All right. Since I started to use this material, I noticed that when you do the stain technique with the crystallization, appears that the stain infiltrate a little bit in the restoration. And I don't know if he's talking about that or he's talking about the stain technique in the back of the restoration. If he's in the back of restoration, like you see in the last case, that you can see the mamellos, everything. This is a concept that you can stain in the back of the restoration when you have like a 1.5 millimeters free of this restoration in the incisal area. And another thing, this depends on the type of translucence that you achieve. Okay, in between MT and 8T, high translucent, you can have this type of stain technique, because you can see the opalescence, and the stain technique in the back you can see in the buccal side. But again, depends on the anatomy that you do in the back of the incisal area. And when I do that, I use stains more opaque, or you can apply opations denting in like Emax Serum, Creation LS. You can apply in this part of the back of the incisal area.
Got it. And another question I have for you here is, what parameter are you using for monolithic restorations, and what translucency do you use for layered crowns?
Okay. So depends what I have in the case, and depends on the thickness of the restoration. Okay. So my parameter is, if I have a less in between 0.3, 0.6, I always achieve the MT translucence. Okay. If I have more than 0.6, I will be in between MT and LT. But again, like you explained, depends on your vision, your how do you feel that because MT for me is not MT for other technicians.
Right.
High translucence for me, it's not high translucence for other technicians. But if I want to layer, I always go like MT, LT.
LT.
Yes, LT, because I want that the body of the restoration needs to be a little bit more opaque to reflect more light in the ceramic.
Got it. Now the
If
next
you saw just one thing, if you saw
go ahead.
in my presentation, when I do like LT, for me it's like a denting. So if you need to layer, you have to the full body like a denting LT.
Makes sense. And the other question here is, what exact staining system are you using and recommend to use with this material? Rather liquid ceramics or fashion stains?
Okay, I like to use. Okay, can I tell the brand? No.
Yeah, whatever you use.
Yes, I like to use biomic, but you can use every type of staining that you want. I think the staining technique, it's the staining that you are able and you are comfortable to use in your day by day. But I personally like biomic.
Yeah, and I would reinforce, our product is very friendly to a lot of staining systems in the market,
A lot of stainings,
from Rio to
brands.
Ivoclar.
You
Yeah,
can, yeah, you can use what you want.
right. So whatever you're comfortable with as it is now, I would say it's a plug and play in that regard, right? And the difference is
Yes,
really more on how you apply the amount of staining technique may be slightly different than what you're used to, because the product out of the box already comes with these optical properties, right? Paolo, and I think this is what you kind of explained in your presentation, is that
yeah,
you're able to achieve things with Amber in a more simpler workflow is what really it translates to, correct?
yes, absolutely.
The next question here is, I saw your case of the doctor with printed veneers. What is your general opinion of resin restorations?
Awful, sorry.
Yeah, I saw your case of the doctor with the printed veneers. What is your
Okay,
general opinion of resin restorations?
about the printed restorations.
Yes.
Oh, I think that the printed restorations, it's not for people are using these like the long-term veneers, and for me it's like temporary veneers. You can use like a temporary veneers. It's just my opinion.
Sure. Yeah. Next question here. How do you calibrate amber mill? So when is MT or LT the right translucency? It's one of the questions here.
Okay, again, this is depends about your vision, what you feel about what is MT. For me, it's not MT for other technicians.
Right.
What is LT for me, it's not LT for other technicians. So I recommend to do like tests, what you feel about what is LT, and do some tests in your oven to see how the temperature is correct to achieve what you want.
Right. And I
Because
do want to,
depends the temperature for me, the LT for me, the temperature of LT for me, it's not for the others. So depends what you want.
right. Yeah. Yes. And I do understand, this is an area that is up to interpretation in some way. But that's
Yeah,
why we do
exactly.
offer the VCK kit that I talked about earlier, so that you have at least a
Yeah, it's a good
baseline.
parameter.
right? Because
Yeah.
that at least kind of
Yeah.
gets you to what you think, at least what would be a standardized HT, for example. And then it's up to you to then play individually within your oven and
Yeah.
achieve whatever targeted translucencies you want. And in fact,
Yeah.
I
With
think
this.
you're the one that taught me this, that you could have the same oven, two ovens from the same manufacturer, same model, bought on the same day, and you're gonna potentially get a different result with
Different
one oven over
results.
the other, right?
Yeah, this kit I think is really important because you can compare what you are doing in the oven and then what you have in the kit.
Right. And I also know that the amount of restorations that you put in the oven and the placement of the restoration, whether it's in the center or on in the periphery, can also yield different results. So these are things, again, that you need to experiment upon to help you achieve a great control of the product. The beauty of the product is it gives you the flexibility to play with it in ways that you're not going to achieve anywhere else.
Yeah,
So,
this is important. This is important that I always put my restorations in the margins of the tray.
in the margins of the tree.
In the margins of the tray, and I always put, if you have the muffle like this size, I always try to put the tray in the middle of the muffle.
Mhm.
And the restorations, if you have like the tray, if you have the tray always in the margins of the tray.
Got it.
This is depends on the oven, but this is but I always do that.
Right. So
And
yeah, go
it's
ahead.
important to say as well that if you see my tray here, I always put my restorations. I don't know if they can see.
Yes, I could see
I
it.
always put my restorations in this type of pins.
Got it.
Okay. And for my perspective, we don't need to use like a refractory pastes.
And why is that, Paulo?
Refractory pastes is like a super peg firing support, like
No, I'm saying, why do you find you don't need it in your case?
uh, uh, I didn't feel some difference, and some some companies you need to use this firing support because the restoration can change, like margins, but in amber the nanocrystals inside, so they are very compact, so they will not deform the restorations.
Got it.
And
Another,
the firing support can not to leave the real temperature,
no problem. Uh, Question here, can you tell us what brand and model of oven you use for this material?
Okay, so I use two ovens here in my lab. I use Zubler and Ivoclar.
Okay. And the next question here is how much time do you find yourself finishing cases with amber compared to your previous workflow? It seems like you're saving time, but I want to make sure that is really what's happening.
Yes, I save a lot of time, and again, when you do the stain with the crystallization, you can save a lot of times. Okay, but it depends the market that you are. But here in California, it's people ask more monolithic veneers.
Mhm.
So to be honest, I'm doing like one stain with crystallization, another stain and glaze. So I save a lot of times. If I start like 8 in the morning and I have the restorations milled, 12 afternoon, like a noon, I have like a 10 veneers done.
Great. You got a comment here from Somaro Long Faxe. Says, thank you,
It's
my brother.
my auto design brother.
Okay. So big hugs. See you soon. Go to sleep now. And what translucency do you use for tabletops?
Tabletops empty. Depends again. Depends of the color of the preparation.
Well, you know
But
what?
95% of the time empty. Empty is the translucency that I most like.
Excellent. Well, listen, Paulo, we are here at the bottom of the half of the hour now, and I want to be mindful of everyone's time. Once again, I really appreciate your time, and I think, you know, it really helps understand the unique aspect of what amber is and how it can be controlled and manipulated. You just have to be aware of its unique properties to be able to do it. So I want to close it with one last question for you, Paulo. You know, what did it take for you to really embrace the product before you finally felt comfortable using it? I think this is a burning question for a lot of the technicians out there that want to try amber, but they just don't know, you know, is it a plug and play product or do I need to do things? And I think the results that you're achieving went through an initial process of study. So I think it might be good for you to explain what it took for you to really embrace amber in the way that you have.
Okay, my experience, right? Yes, since I started to use amber, it's my personality. I develop myself in the material. All the materials that I start to use, I always develop myself in the material. So what I recommend, and if you have a case to do, like do with time, and mill like two restorations of this case, like if you have 10 veneers, like a mill 20 veneers, because people sometimes think, oh, but I will mill like a 20 veneers, I will spend a lot more two packages. But you are not spending more two packages. You are learning about the material to and you are able to see what you want about this material. So you will spend like a two package, you will spend the time, but after two or three cases, you are able to see that, oh, I don't need to test anymore. So from my perspective, I develop myself in this material in like a 5 or 6 cases to understand what I wanted about this material. So every time that you spend the time and every time that you spend like more package to mill, it's for it's for your achievement. Okay,
Investment.
so yeah, it's you are investing in yourself. Like I said, I can do like 10 restorations in less than 4 hours if I have the restorations milled. But to achieve there, I spend like some times in the beginning to see that, oh, I am able to do that. So I always recommend this. From my perspective, it's the best that you can do. Spend the time learning about the material, and then the time it's less time for you.
Right, right. Well, with that, we're going to end our presentation today. Once again, Paulo, thank you for your time. Thank you, all of you that are here from all over the world. And any questions, always feel free to reach out to us. Look forward to our next presentation. So have a great day, guys, and thank you, Paulo.
Have a great day, people from all over the world. If you have any type of questions, send a message for us in the social media, Instagram, something like that. Thank you so much, Hasbio, to invite me to do this lecture, this webinar. It's always a pleasure to share my knowledge about this material that I love.
Thank you, Paulo. Take care, buddy. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.